Okay, so I'm Grasswalker. I'm assuming if you're here, it's because you already know what you're getting into, which is the Dota 2 Bot Masters. On the Radiant side, we've switched. Now that Beginner AI won Game 1 of this best of 3, default unfair bots will be on the Radiant side, and a Beginner AI will be on the Dire side. I'm not in this lobby, so let's get going. After that first game, it looks like a Beginner AI is the heavy favourite to win this second game. I mean, it was not close, and the default unfair bots, they pick some much better heroes this game. I like the look of their draft this time. Skywrath Mage providing silences, slows, huge burst damage. Razor is a lane dominator. Tide usually doesn't lose a lane. He can at the very least get levels and a bit of farm here and there. Warlock has been very good this tournament, and Wraith King has been fine this tournament. I think they've gone safe and they're back in reasonable hands. On the other hand, Dire side... Oh, we've just lost them. I saw a Chaos Knight when I glanced down at the other side of the heroes. I was correct. We've got Chaos Knight, Ogre Magi, Lina, Phantom Lancer, Pugna. Beginner AI with some cheeky picks here. Because the thing here is that Pugna is a really good hero against bots. You put down that Nether Ward, they do not respect the Nether Ward and they will keep casting spells. And if you think of a hero like Skywrath Mage, the guy has an ultimate that costs at max level 800 mana. If he clicks all his buttons, he's spending 90, 180, 290 plus 800. He's spending about 1100 mana. That's if he just clicks all his buttons. Which he can do in about half a second if you just click all his buttons. The Nether Ward does 1.5 damage per mana spent, which means 1100 times 1.5 is 1650 magic damage just immediately injected into your veins. That hurts.
30 seconds.
Oh my lord, it's base damage plus the multiplier, so it's not even 1650, it'd be 1850 if you cast 4 spells. And I cannot imagine that the Skywrath Mage is going to build enough HP to survive that kind of nuke. I can see the Skywrath killing himself multiple times this game. Similarly, Warlock, if you cast Fatal Bonds Golems, that's 640 mana. All of a sudden you're hitting yourself for 920-ish. 970-ish plus the burst of the thing. It's like 1000 damage easily on him. A very calm rune section this time. They just very passively trade 2 runes each. Last game, a Beginner AI, they took off 3 kills, like, immediately. We've got a Chaos Knight mid. That was not what I expected. I thought it was going to be Lina mid. I do believe Chaos Knight mid is not favoured against Razor. I mean, he should always get you with the Plasma Field. He should be able to link you up whenever he wants. You can run in and out. And I mean, you're probably not maxing Storm Surge or anything. But you can run in and out without too much trouble. I was imagining the old thing where it's like if you target Razor with a spell, you take damage, and everything Chaos Knight has is single target based. Razor probably hasn't worked that way in probably a couple of years. Bot lane, we've got Skeleton King and the Warlock. Sorry, his name's Wraith King. Wraith King and the Warlock against Pugna Ogre. Now, Pugna Ogre's a weird lane because I don't see how either of these heroes either gets or wants to use the farm. I mean, Ogre's just running up and CSing and he's doing fine. No. But it probably shouldn't be what's happening. This lane should heavily favour the Radiant. Assuming no skill difference. Lina PL is a weird lane because I feel like PL, he enjoys laning with a spicy ranged hero that can harass the enemies away, and I think he enjoys it when his lane partner has a stun that can save him, but Lightning Strike's not quite... It's not quite that. It's almost a saving stun. You've still got to land it, it's not guaranteed. Hyde, abandoning the lane. Sasha, where are you going? Watches as the Chaos Knight picks up the Water Rune. Razor gets the other one. Both kind of wasting their time in reality. Seeing a better lane for the mid laner of Unfair bots. The CS difference this game 10-4 rather than 23-2. So the Razor keeping their own somewhat this game. They're still losing the lane. They're actually like right up there. No, they're still losing this lane, definitely, especially with that range creep deny. Just one little club noise from the Chaos Knight. 3.5 against 3 3/4 though. Meanwhile, Ogre Pugner are sharing the farm. Wraith King kind of yet to hit a creep. I don't know where he's off. Elliot is... I don't know what Elliot thinks he's doing. I mean, he's not going anywhere for any reason or purpose. Grabs the bounty rune, as does the Razor, but 80 gold for the team. It is 400 gold, but what are you missing? You're missing all these creeps. Missing all these creeps. And the XP? Send someone else to go get that. Stun onto the Razor. Got a bit of aggression here. Meanwhile, Skywrath has to TP home. Top lane must not be the nicest place in the world. Dire Heroes have top 5 CS, which is absurd to think about. Stun onto the Warlock. No Orb of Venom on the Ogre. He might be okay. Pugner burning down a little bit to the Shadow Word, but he's still healthy. Salves up now, chases onto the Warlock. Without the Orb of Venom on Ogre, I don't think this is happening, though. You need that little bit of extra slow. But as I was saying, it is completely unheard of to have 5 heroes topping the CS chart. Because the enemy mid... like, the enemy mid should never have less farm than your 5 boss. That is absolutely crazy to think of. Big burst on a TPing hero, so nothing from there. I mean, the enemy 5 pos is... make the PLs the 5 pos? Surely not. I mean, beginner AI just seems more willing to split farm amongst heroes. I'm not sure if they see the game as a laning 5 pos gets everything. Now we've got the Ignite, that will keep the Wraith King a little bit slowed. Without the Orb of Venom on top, he can salve and run. He's got boots. And everyone's got boots except for the Ogre. Speed different. Calculated. Salve cancelled. That's a juicy 100 gold value punch. And this poor Wraith King just wants to go back to lane. This exchange is favouring the Radiant though, because Wraith King's wasting one person's game. Dire's wasting 2 people's game. Dire is so far ahead on farm. I mean, it's only a 1k gold lean, but they have trashed every lane. I find it so strange that that's only a 1k gold lead. The laning stage showing that it doesn't matter too much right now. Razor wants a power rune. Spawns bottom. Meanwhile, First Blood, we barely caught it in time. We didn't really catch it, to be honest, but we caught it as they died, so I'm going to count it as a W. It's 314 gold for the PL. Best hero that could have got that, to be honest. Razor. He has linked 72 damage off of the Chaos Knight. Means the Chaos Knight is hitting for 11 damage. 21 damage rather, but after armor I think it's closer to 11. And that's a bit spicy actually. The static links took all his damage. He's just CSing with the illusion. I believe they're called phantasms. Phantasmal copies, but they're just illusions. The Wraith King, the lowest net worth in the game as the safe laner. The Razor's, I mean, he's there, but it's struggle. It's a struggle for him. Gets pulled back in. It should be the end of this. And a TP base. Meanwhile, a bit of a tower dive top. Chad mode lands that stun. I think she's been watching OpenAI skill shots. They've played so much leaner. They've showed what it can and can't do with and against bots. Catapults. Not hitting anything yet. It's hitting the ogre, I guess. Ooh. Wants that fire blast. Is the chase on? I mean, without an orb of venom on the ogre, I don't see how this chase is on. Bloodlust helps. Now this kind of shenanigans really favors the Radiant. Is that Warlock able to get solo XP and farm? PL dies? Looks like Gush, some right clicks, and then 3 arcane bolts at 100 damage a pop. 95 damage a pop. As well as int damage multiply. 1.5. Oh, int is 50. 1.5 is 75. So each arcane bolt hits for 187 or something is specific int. See now, a slow onto the Wraith King. You might not need the Orb of Venom this time. You've got enough heroes, but then again, he's just walking away. Guess that Phantom Spirit Lance, it slows for 18%. They do get the kill in the end. Wraith King having a tragic game.
I'll take that.
I mean, this mid laner for beginner AI, look at him. He's got 42 CS, 23 denies.
Bounty!
Holy moly. Oh. Forgive me, I'm still tired. I'm recording on the same day that I was still tired from, like, earlier games. A disaster to be. Tidehunter doing nothing. I don't know why I said his name. Just felt like addressing the hero. Tidehunter TPing to the shrine as Warlock TPs from the shrine to top. An exchange of heroes. Razor wants to go in. This is a good fight for them. The Arcane Bolt is facing in. Dissimulate blocks it. Is that what's called? Doppelganger, sorry. LSA on 3 heroes. But now, your PL, he's tanking the tier 1. You can't keep diving forever. Salves up. Looks like that will be the end of that. Honestly, very bad for the Radiant side. That fight looked good. And in a 3v1, they are the ones that lost a hero. Fight, it's not over yet. Razor, he wants round 2. Out comes the Plasma Field. PL's quite low. Doppelganger's the side. Athena's in an awkward spot here. If they just manned up on her, she would die. Razor, though, huge damage on the PL. PL dies. Razor is 1 click away, but he does live. Now, Wraith King. He has the blast. He has the blast. It's ready. TP's cancelled. Cleaned up. That's the 2 kills you wanted in a 3v2. They get it in the end. 800 gold swing for them. This game is much more competitive and fair. I mean, we've got Pugna getting ganked. They're going to go onto the Ogre in the end. The Pugna ward is... it's killing them. It might even kill the Sky, and it does. The unfair bots have no respect for that Pugna ward. We foreshadowed it earlier. And what turns an easy gank on the Ogre into a 1-for-1. I mean, it's still stompish, stomp adjacent. The kill score is 4-4, but the beginner AI is just so much more economical on the map. As we see now, 2 heroes running in mid from both sides. Out comes the Tide. He's only level 5. You need to clear out a creep wave before he can ravage. Chaos Knight Illusion, though, sends him back base almost. They're chasing Sash's Tide.
Great conductor.
They're gonna find the Skyrath, pull him in, give him the Laguna, he's dead. He's so much squishier than that watermelon of a Tide. A Tide, 8 armor, 1000 health, and blocks 30 damage. Sky, 800 health, 1 armor, doesn't block anything.
Radiant structures.
Ina dies to creeps? That's... I mean... that's not what you want to see.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
If you're a beginner AI fan, you're... Oh my lord, that Ravage is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Tidehunter is not qualified for an MVP this game off of that move and that move solely. Oh dear. Oh no. Skyrath being chased by the Pugna. He puts the ward down. That makes it awkward for the Sky who's killing himself. TP, that's a smart move. Meanwhile, under the tier 2 mid, you've got multiple heroes diving the Razor. Razor's a very tanky hero though. He's not building like he's that tanky, but he is quite tanky. And the PL dies to the tower. The uphill miss. Jump onto the Tide, he was following the uphill miss. He hadn't wasted his Ravage earlier. A Ravage under that tier 2 would have been glorious. Pugna sucking the Razor. Green versus blue, who do you favour? In comes red. Stuns off, red gets the kill. No, green got the kill. Meanwhile, PL picked off mid. Tide, he's getting low, but he's already used all his spells. There's nothing left for him. An easy kill onto the Pugna. The ward isn't down. So you've got Ogre trying to man up on 4 heroes and a Warlock Golem. It's not going well for them. All that's left is Chaos Knight. He's trying to kill the Skyrath, but he's getting chased away.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh, a cheeky TP. Does escape. Huge fight for Valve default unfair bots. I mean, they're showing promise. It's a 1k gold swing in their favour. They're not letting this lead ball out of control like it did in the previous game. Their heroes are so much better at fighting this game. Had slightly better lanes too. Warlock though. Face down, another lance, couple taps, he is dead. Oh no. I'm gonna fall asleep after this game, and it is 6 PM in England. That's just not right. Wraith King looking to get something delivered. What's that? Treads. No, he's just got the casual glove. It's part of an armlet. Tide, he's been found. They do nuke the Chaos Knight. It's not Tide that was found, it was Chaos Knight that got found. Mech on the Tide. That's a huge teamfight item. He can use it right now to save the Skeleton King if he wants to. Ravage comes in. Where's the mech? Just click mech. Just save your friend. The mech would have saved him. He doesn't finish off the Nether Ward. And now everything's kind of weird and awkward. Tide mechs towards the end, but it's too little too late. Skyrath, he is going to finish off the Ogre though. So at least the 1-for-1. Fight recap showing the Chaos Knight. That was old news. There we go. The Wraith King died, but it was only his ultimate. It wasn't a real death. And that does mean if he dies in the next 2.5 minutes, he is real dead. Five Radiant heroes charging. Smash out the Luna. Next is the Pugna, and it's a ravaging as they clear out the ward first. Maybe a little too much target priority on that ward because Pugna looks like he might get away. Then again, the slow's there. Wraith King's got the stun. One hit, he's dead. Double kill for the Wraith King. I mean, the Valve default and fair bots, they're making the better plays for the last 5 minutes. And the graph shows it. The lead stabilized at first and is now going back in their favor. That fight, another 350 gold. In their pockets, 100 off of the enemy team. It's about a 500 swing. Ogre slowed. The burst is coming. That Arcane Bolt plus the right click is the end of him. Pugna TP's in now. One by one they feed. The slow from the Plasma Field, they're more than willing to dive. He wants to finish the ward first. Can't decide. Ward or the Pugna kills neither. Don't forget, if he dies, he's dead for real. Like one of those animes who get sucked into the video game. Lina TP's away. Should be the end of that. There's a horde of illusions. They are trying to push the mid tower, and they do get 1,000 damage on it. I'm surprised that my little rat brain, I'm always watching pushes, did not catch that. I caught the Skywrath kill whilst I was trying to reach for something under my desk. Didn't move the camera, didn't need to. Here comes a good fight for the Radiant. It's another good fight for the Radiant. They're chasing the PL. He could die here. Armlet toggle from the Wraith King.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Tier 1 falls for the Radiant. That's the trade-off for the Dire. The net worth lead, it just means so much less now. When you had this 4k lead at 7 minutes, let's go, that's huge. Now you've got the 4k lead at 18 minutes. That's not as important. ED on the Warlock means he can use it to right-click down the Pugna. And they do. Lina comes in, LSA on 2, but the Ravage counter. Oh, the Laguna kills off the Warlock, but his Golem is still alive from the last fight. Golem doing huge damage to the Tide, but eventually gets right-clicked down by the Lina, along with the Tide. That's the wrong fight. Oh, the recap. The recap system, it's so bad. There we go, 2 for 1. Good fight for the Dire. We haven't seen a lot of those. Here's a good pick-off for the Dire. Suck the Razor and kill him off. And the problem is, if you're this far behind, you have to make so many good fights just to claw the lead back to here. And now 2 bad fights, it's all the way down here. As well as this, Ogre and Chaos Knight thinking about hitting a tier 3. They don't want to commit to it.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
They're busy watching Wraith King fighting Illusion's top. I mean, the Wraith King's not hitting the right hero or anything. He does land that stun. That was very cheeky. The heal onto the Tide. He's clearly not the hero that's at like 30% health. They come back in. Right clicks onto the PL. He's still so high left, quite on health. Laguna onto the Tide, but he's still at half. No Ravage for this fight. Pugna Ward starting to blast people off. Right clicks onto the PL. He's going to live. The tier 2's the one that's doing the most damage this fight. It's solo killing Melina. Stun onto the Pugna. He turns invis though. Tide kind of mistimes the Anchor Smash. Decrep makes you immune to attacks. Surprised at that. Guess it counts as an attack. Weird. Catapult CK Ogre, pushing mid.
Gold is a great conductor.
There's 2 heroes, the entire Radiant side collapsing on them. You got Tide, Wraith King, top, Razor bot. Here comes the silence onto the Ogre. Huge burst, they want to kill the Chaos Knight. They feel like he's the more important hero. The stun is on the Chaos Knight, as is the burst. Armlet toggle. He's dead. Ogre though, on the run. They spot him.
I'll take that.
They know where he is. Stun from the Wraith King. Let's see what other disable they have. It's basically just the Skywrath slow after that. They're running a pseudo stunless lineup. Yeah, you got the Golem. Yeah, you got the Ravage, but they're not stuns, you know? They're not stuns you can just throw out in a skirmish. Big team fights only.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
Mid tower gets denied. Pugna sticks around too long. They see him. Is he just baiting them, or can he get away? Blast cleans out most of the creeps. It was a good little bait. But then Pugna overestimates their willingness to dive. Puts down the ward. Ravage comes out. It's on Pugna and Lina. The LSA's on 2 though. The Laguna and the Dragon Slave. That's on 1 and then following 2 in that order. Razor can't get away from the multicast. Midas is making this ogre fatter and fatter by the second. Oh yeah. Got a game on our hands, boys. Buyback from the Warlock. I don't see why you would do that. Your team has bad enough economy as it is, and you just spent 550 gold on a buyback. Put him way bottom of the net worth. PL pushing top. Just him, himself, and his friends, and he's dead. Don't push top. Solo alone, guys. That makes this mid-fight a little bit more palatable, even though they don't have Ravage. LSA misses the tide. Slow onto the Lina, stun onto the Lina. Lina's dead. Ogre's up next. It's a massacre inside the Radiant base. You're trying to push 2v5. Look where the Pugner is. Where the Chaos Knight is. It's just not the play. Tide almost has his blink. You have to imagine it's a different game when he gets blink. This, like, lead doesn't seem to want to extend past, I would say, 10,000. It's been around that 5 mark for a long time. It's slipping towards 7 now. This game quite close, actually. Unfair bots chasing down the Pugner. With the cleave, the slow, the silence, it should be a free kill even if he's invis, and it is.
To the narrow maze with you.
It's the kill differences, 23 to 16. Farming better, but you can't really take objectives when your team keeps dying.
Go. Yeah, coin.
I'm definitely not casting another one after this. Even if it ends up one apiece, I'm just leaving it for another day. I'm way too tired for this. Chaos Knight gets found on the sky. Or does he find the sky? Wow, he hits hard.
Testimony to your
Why do you hit so hard, sir? Lina hunting the Warlock. She has Laguna available if she wants it. Oh, the LSA just short. Dire side getting a dominant hold on the Radiant jungle. They're also jungling their own jungle a little bit. Neutral items might start making the difference, but Radiant is not without their own items. Something like a cheeky fairies trinket on the Skywrath mage, that's huge. As we see Ogre get picked off in the top lane.
I hang a coral wreath on your...
It's a little bit of a massacre. They're trying to do a 4-split-1, but Ogre can't do anything by himself except feed. And now you've got a 5v4 against bot. Razor finds a dragon scale. That is a humongous upgrade for whoever picks that up. I hope it goes to Tide or Wraith King, to be honest. Tier 2 bottom, falls with ease, beginner AI, cuts it up.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Full staff in from the sky, they want to burst the Lina while she's TPing. Out comes the Ravage on 3, the Golem on 3. Fatal Bonds is shared, the Skywrath will die. But the Tide's a little bit too tanky to get burst in this way. Chaos Knight, he stuns the Tide more, but the mech comes out now, saves himself with that. Oh, the Tide will burn out due to the Ignite of Ogre. Meanwhile, tier 1 tower falls. No more tower to give you extra armor and regen. Phantom Lancer just getting cut up by this Golem. He's also cutting up the Warlock. Kills the Warlock. Wraith King getting blasted by Phantom Lancer. They're trying to clear out the Golem whilst that's happening. 3 times multicast stun on the Wraith King. Golem almost clearing out the PL. It's healing so much. 50 a second. The armlet toggle of the Wraith King gets a question mark from the Ogre. Wow. Wow, that's actually the first shit talk of the game. Ogre! You cheeky son of a... Oh my. Crimson Guard. Up for the Ogre.
Tis
Arath Mage, Force Staff, Lovely and Aether Lens. Seen Armlet Blink on the Wraith King, Blade Mail's in progress. Razor, he's got the Hurricane Pike and nothing else. Ugner sucks the tide. Skywrath Mage might kill himself to the ward. He's definitely taking a lot of damage to the ward, that's for sure. But they do burst down the Pugner. With a mech, they're all back to full. Oh, the Dragon Scales on Sky? What a waste of an item. This man doesn't need that item. And again, maybe he doesn't want to get one shot with a CK. That's not going to happen. Allied. Crawling around. Gets Dragon Slaved. We've got 3. The full 3 Phantasms. Oh, it's not randomly based anymore. Bro, do you remember when Chaos Knight summoned anywhere between like 1 and 6 illusions and that was his ult? Sometimes you click it, you get 1 illusion, you're like, alright guys, let's back out. This isn't the fight for us. Come back in 2 minutes. Sky obliterated, as will the first racks of the game after the Wraith King. And that is, I mean, it's right in front of the Radiant base. So many heroes are dead. An easy cleanup. 1 Rax secured if they want
Radiant's
it.
middle tower has fallen.
Ogre is fighting the Razor. It's your like 3-ish Ogre fighting off the enemy too. I mean, he's going to get this kill, it looks like.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Never mind, he doesn't commit for
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
it. Beginner AI go into their classic trick. They're like, listen, we're just going to end this. We're more than happy to go for the end, and the Pugner Blasts make the push so heavy. It does 162 damage to structures. That's a lot of damage to structures.
Dire structures are fortified.
I mean, they get the Ogre kill in the end, but it doesn't matter. They're about to lose. Beginner AI's cheeky throne pushes. I love it. They're so willing to just end the game. When they feel that they're ahead, when they feel that 1 or 2 heroes have died or out of position, or they can see the Radiant heroes top on the crate wave, they just turn up and end it. And it's your job to defend this, Elliot. Elliot, sir. Elliot, I bequeath to you the responsibility of defending the Ancient. It's the name of the game. No one does it. And Beginner AI advance further into the upper bracket. The upper bracket. Just gave up on that word halfway through. Whereas Valve's default unfair bots will drop to the lower bracket. I believe they'll be facing off against Edge AI. So that's a spicy situation there, because the Valve default unfair bots showing that right now they clearly are not capable of beating Beginner AI who won Group A. But maybe Valve default unfair bots will be able to claw their way through the lower bracket by beating Edge AI who came second in Group A. Maybe they can't deal with the best of Group A, but they might be able to deal with the rest of Group A. Let's have a look at who we think our MVP should be. In terms of the Radiant side, I'm looking at the KDAs, and I think Wraith King has a very juicy KDA. Tide we're eliminating. I saw that Ravage at like 11 minutes mid, and he just ravaged nothing. He's eliminated. Razor did okay in the lane, and maybe he's the reason they've been given a chance back in. Maybe we need the damage graphs to help with this. Damage graph favours the Warlock. The Wraith King not doing too much in the end, actually. Maybe we need the net worth graphs to help us figure out the MVP. I mean, your Razor's the only guy who didn't get trashed in lane. At no point did he let that 5-on-5 situation occur. Oh, there it is. There's the 5-on-5. But there's your Wraith King. The Wraith King recovers, and then the Wraith King becomes a relevant hero, and then they lose anyway. So I'm going to give that MVP to Wraith King as the best KDA, and he had a good comeback story for a moment there. Dire side. Who does it go to? That's tough. I think we're going to need the help of some of these graphs. Dire side, building damage, 6k for the Chaos Knight, 4.5 for Phantom, 3 for Lina. Hero damage topped by Lena and Pugna. The Pugna wards were good, but they weren't MVP good. So I feel like maybe just give it to the best looking KDA, which is Chaos Knight 744. You have the least deaths in the game. Actually, no, you have... Wraith King the Razor died less. This was a weird game because the Radiant side were getting kills all over the place, but the Dire side were the ones that were willing to end the game with their lead. So I think, yeah, it's going to be Chaos Knight as the MVP alongside Wraith King. In the end, the story of this game was that it doesn't matter how many fights you win. If you don't defend your Ancient, which is the name of the game, you will lose the game. Dire was ahead for the vast majority of this game. If we look at the graph, there's no point where the default unfair bots were winning. However, they had their comeback moments. You can see here, spike up. You can see here, spike up, spike up, spike up. Huge comeback moments in the late game, but unfortunately, if you only have a couple of comeback moments whilst losing, the graph will continue to go down, even if it spikes up every now and then. It'll keep going down, it'll spike up, but you'll never bring it back to your side if you just have a couple of comeback moments here and there. You have to have either a humongous comeback moment or multiple repeated great comeback moments, one off the other. And Radiant, they wouldn't let the Dire side of the unfair bots string it together. The Dire side would not let the Radiant bots string it together. Unfair bots not allowed to get the comeback in order. Thank you for joining me in this upper bracket best of 3. It was a dominant performance from Beginner AI. They're looking like they might find themselves a spot in the grand finals, but until then, there's another undefeated team for them to play up against. See you in the next game. Bye.